Action. How are you all today? Very well? Yes?
Fantastic.
Anyone been eating more than they need?
Yep.
Yeah? Yeah? A lot of abundance. It's good. You don't see that very often, right?
I haven't been eating a whole lot.
Oh, yeah?
Since I got here, my appetite has gone down, which is crazy. There's all this food. I came here to chow down. And It's just, I don't have the appetite.
And you're following your inner guidance system.
Yes.
Is anyone following their inner guidance system, or just to hell with it, I'm going to eat some of this stuff? When you go home and get back on track, right? When you get home, you can start eating for enlightenment, right? When there's not all this amazing tropical fruit. So I've got to get out my note cards, but I forgot them. So I might have to wing it. And I'm not sure how proficient I am at that. But I do it every single day for the last 5 years, so I might be able to pull something out. So health, anyone interested in that? Is anyone interested in the illumination of the heart? Living from the heart? Yeah?
Yes.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Is there anyone here who would like to have a debate whether love is the answer? No? Yeah. Cool. Good crowd. Are you outside the circle? Come into the circle. See if we can move some benches and make some space. I told ya, this is more popular than we thought. Awesome. Yes.
Poor work of making them all
Oh, he did all this
space.
for us to destroy it. We'll put it back. We've got a couple of strong guys. He's probably back there sweating.
Did you sleep well?
I slept pretty well last night, yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, I woke up pretty refreshed.
Any good dreams?
I think the night before I had some cool dreams, but now I don't remember what they were. You dream every night? I rarely dream.
No. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Yesterday I did, yeah.
I rarely dream. Poor Don. He's like, oh my God, he spent like 15 minutes straightening it up, huh?
He's using that little pole as a measurement.
Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me.
Perfect.
Oh wow. Well, yeah, that's why he had to leave probably. Like, I can't watch this happen.
We tried. This is going to keep going.
Cool, good, great. I'm glad. I'm so happy that because today I intend to be of service in any way that I can. Many of you have watched many of my videos, and in the last several days I've had many breakthroughs. That's why the last couple days I've had to hide in my room. It wasn't because of the rain, it was because I was going through the process, which I never stop. I never go to sleep. Your greatest gift to yourself is to stay awake, right? To pay attention. Easier said than done with so many things like stimulating and, sort of sedating type foods out there, cooked, drugs, entertainment, all kinds of different ways to escape the process of staying awake. But if we don't stay awake, we will not arrive and be in that place that we want to be to absorb life as it is. We're not necessarily trying to be happy, I don't think. We're just trying to be present. Present, present, present. Because when we stay present, then we can see that good days and bad days. But that's not what we really are, you know? And in fact, it's the rainy days that make the sunny days possible and meaningful. Right? So when the rain came, I was like, yes, perfect. Because the sun's going to come back out this afternoon and be here with us for like a week. And these 2 rainy days of introspection allows us to really appreciate what the sun is. And that could be a metaphor for everything in this life. You know? You got to have a couple crappy relationships to have a good one, right? You know what I mean? You got to know what it's like to be broke to know what it's like to be abundant, you know? So today we're talking about being our best self, which for me is an obsession. And it may not be coming out of the best place. It could possibly be coming out of the deep iceberg below the water of I'm not good enough. Would it be okay if I was construed as a teacher and admitted that? Yeah? Has anyone else ever felt even the smallest amount of I'm not good enough? Raise your hand. Oh, I can relieved. Thank God. I thought at least some of you were perfect. That's so sweet. That allows me to be authentic today. It's good. Whew. Yeah, not good enough can really be a driving force, but there's that duality again. That's the rainy day that brings the sunlight of successes, of breaking through the barriers that are generally self-imposed or socially imposed or religiously imposed or imposed upon us by our family. A lot of conditioning there, huh? In fact, we are nothing but conditioning. But we've had enough masters tell us through their own experiences of, you know, I think they were like me, like I have to get to the bottom of this. I have to know. For me, the food trip is definitely in there because of the sensitivity of this body that I have and the sensitivity of this nervous system. Many people have a stronger constitution. They're like, I eat whatever the hell I want. I feel great all the time, you know. But they may not have to be forced into realizing that food affects the subtle qualities of every aspect of your life. But if you have a great constitution and you can just keep moving through and you don't have to pay attention and you make it a certain part, you're 50 and you still feel okay. You can get up and go out and work in the garden, you know. Some of us have a lesser constitution and a very sensitive nervous system. And so we have to really look at the food thing if we want to feel good in our bodies, you know. That's pretty much, you know, the reason why I do what I do. Because even the slightest deviation, I don't know if it used to not be that way, but the awareness here has expanded so much, and the desire to feel good as much as possible. Also to share the experiences that I've had, because the more real that I am, and the more knowledge that I can share with my experiences, and share that on YouTube, the better teacher I am, the more success I'll have, the more of a legacy I'll leave behind. Again, possibly stemming out of I'm not good enough. But it also forced me to look to love as well. Like it has to be real. You know what I mean? Like you can pull a fast one over on thousands and thousands of people on YouTube if you want. Trust me. I don't know, I never have, I never tried. That's why my channel is just this thing. You know, I don't use any of the tricks. I'd rather have 5 viewers that are real than 5 million that are made up out of some kind of, you know, thing that's not real. So being vulnerable has been a definite challenge, you know. But I think that, and you all can correct me if I'm wrong, in some way that seems to help a lot of people. That they see, oh, this guy Dan, he's smart, but he's also very human, yeah? Sure, let's do that. That'll help save my voice a little. I think he said to push something here.
Did we unplug that then?
Oh, I think that's the monitor. Oh, hey. Sound, how's that? Yeah, good. Okay, cool. Right on. Ready for this? Yeah, let's do this. Wow, this is a bigger group than I had expected. Oh, use the mic. Cool, so eating for enlightenment, what does that mean? I don't know yet, but enlightenment is such a cool word and a concept because it has the word light in it. Here's a little secret. This is for the YouTube viewers and all of you as well. all I see is light. All I see is every single one of you is just condensed light. Is that cool? Does anyone want to have a debate about that?
Well, can you explain it further?
Oh boy, yeah, I will try. I call it God, but if you're scientifically minded, left-brained, you could call it the quantum field. But it is an infinite field of energy. So wrap your head around that. No starting point, no ending point. There is no first cause. It just is. This is why the masters will remind us happily that there's no way to really describe this, the truth, you know. But you have these experiences that keep proving to you that everything is light. Because if you contemplate this thing long enough with the food thing. So again, it comes right back to with the food thing. I'll try to do my best to explain it in linear terms. So you've got this infinite field. And now science has even smaller mechanisms to measure, but let's just start with electrons, okay? They're like, electrons are electricity, which are actually just whirling electricity, little solar systems. And those solar systems of energy and electricity break down into molecules. And molecules form into cells. And so basically, even these iron rods are alive because they are formed of condensed electrons. So they're condensed energy. As a human being, we so happen to be the pinnacle of the living creation, I think, with our brain and nervous system the way that it is. So we are just condensed, compressed electricity. And our brain steps that down into the human flesh. Compressed electricity. So what do we do when we want to start getting healthy? We want to start tracking back into that electricity, right? Because the heavy denseness of the consumables in today's modern world, a cheeseburger's alive. You know, a cheeseburger is probably going to digest better than these iron rods in your stomach. But that's where we start to want to get closer and closer and more expanded into that electricity. The life force energy, the life energy, the vitality. And so that's why fruit, you know, is the best food for us, because it has the least amount of sediment for the most amount of bioavailable electrical energy. And it passes through this living light organism better than most other foods. And then you've got the vegetables and the nuts and seeds down there too. So the brain and the nerves is the vital energy, and this is where we can start to really understand the aspects that food has upon our life. Is that our brain and nerves is one sort of vital energy, vital electrical force that goes through 72,000 acupuncture meridian points in the body. So electromagnetically, energetically, the vital force feeds the glands with electricity. It also operates the digestive system as well. And you have a certain amount of that electricity available to you each day. And it is absorbed according to the environment that you live in. Now, some of the environments we live in don't have as much of the electrical energy coming from the ground, which is called the grounding and the earthing, the electromagnetic energy from the earth, which grounds you, and then the cosmic radiation, which feeds the brain and the nerves. And when we overstuff our stomach, has anyone ever noticed that electrical energy, you know, is diminished, right? If it's too heavy, you take a nap, right? So the food is actually a chemical stimulation. There's vital stimulation from the brain and nerves, which runs through all the acupuncture meridian points into the vital organs and keeps everything going. Because otherwise, if you really did live off food, then if you fasted, you would die, right? But actually what's been coming up more and more for me is the fact that we are actually, is this thing working? Hello? Yeah. Okay. Is the fact that we're more breathing machines than we are eating machines. You know what I mean? Right? But that doesn't come up very often. We tend to use food as a stimulation to get ourselves moving so that we can start breathing. And we thank the food, but it's actually the oxygen that the food has now stimulated you. So that's why a lot of people are addicted to stimulating foods. Coffee, spices, salt, stimulating foods like animal meats and things like that, which have a stimulating quality. Then it gets the kind of, you're whipping the tired dead horse there, or you're whipping the tired horse with the stimulants so that you can start breathing and moving. The coffee, it kind of stimulates your adrenals, and then you start moving and start breathing. If you could start breathing before you had the coffee, you'd realize that it's actually the oxygen that you're craving, And the better the air is, the less you need to eat. Has anyone ever noticed that? Is that something that has, yeah.
Happened here.
Yeah. In your city, in the city, it's, you eat a lot more. Different environments, right? You notice your eating habits, like, why can't I get the damn thing together? Especially like at home with your relatives or whatever, right? You go back to a lot of old eating patterns, the unconscious, the energy vibe, And so certain environments cause you to eat in certain different ways, And so that's why going back to nature as much as possible is best for your health and healing. But at the same time, making sure that you're not judging anyone for their eating habits, because these are some pretty harsh environments that we've created as human beings. If you go up off the map and you look down at the topographical maps, you see like the cities are like brown dots of cancer. Has anyone ever seen those topographical maps? You go up and you just look at the way the city is, and the way that it looks upon the earth is almost these cancerous spots upon the earth. Very interesting stuff. Brown and gray. Yes, sir.
Can you give me an example
Of
a brown city?
all of them. You go up off the earth 3 miles and you look down and you take a picture, or even more than 3 miles probably, but then you look down and you look at, and the biggest ones are like New York, LA, Paris, that type of thing, and you see big brown cancer, and then the rest of the earth is nice and green and blue. It's,
What was satellite?
what does it look like?
No, what was satellite?
That's what I mean.
Okay.
The topographical satellite photographs.
Okay.
Yeah, you should check it out, Google it or something, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And it makes you want to go away from those places because it's brown and dirty. And from the first breath till the last, unless we're living in the country air, we're absorbing a lot of soot, which can really, the breathing apparatus is the key. Remember back in the day when they used to treat people and they'd close all the windows, they never got well, And the hospitals nowadays, why no one ever gets well? The recirculated air, everybody's breathing the air and you're breathing in their toxic poisons, and no one's getting well in the hospitals. Imagine if a hospital actually had like the breeze blowing through it, how much rapidly everyone would get well. The oxygen is the number one for your healing, you know what I mean? For the body. And the water, of course, is second, and then you've got the sunlight, right? And then you bring in the food like the fruits that are the least offending foods on the human body. So if we remember to breathe first and then drink pure water second, which in this day and age actually does come from the fruits and vegetables, so we're in a different kind of a zone. If we could get that fresh water like they used to have on the earth, we could just go breath, water, sunlight, and then if we wanted to, we could eat, I said the other day, someone overheard me saying, the less I eat, the better I feel. Maybe that's just where I'm at right now, and everyone has their different phases. But that's just the truth of it, because of the sensitivity of my body and what I'm trying to do, which is regenerate my brain. And to keep my brain so I can pick it apart, And when you get so full of food, it's the mind energy. Does anyone notice that? that when your stomach is so full, you're like, oh, that's cool, you know, I'll deal with that later, you know? Right? This food can be really a sedative, you know? And you lose a lot of that mind energy. So if you're in that place where what you're trying to do is stay so aware that you're able to watch your thought processes and dissect them, be awake through them, and then you can start to untie the knots that bind you to this world, you know? Does anyone ever feel like heaviness? Self-judgment against yourself? Does anyone ever criticize themselves? Does anyone ever get sad? Yeah. Yeah, me too. So right now I'm just, you know, like I'll tell you my story. The first few days that I got here, I just drank orange juice. I felt great, you know? And then then I did 2 yoga classes, rode my bike around the lake, you know, then worked out with Mike to failure on all back and arms, and then my body was so filled with acidity from that too much exercise. And so that was one of the revelations that I've had since I've been here, is that, you know, to really work on that lightness of being, that clarity, just too much exercise producing too much acids. And then what I did is I just, to kind of calm that acidity down, I just ate too much. Too many mixtures. I mean, probably better than a lot of people, but even just the mixtures. I'm really getting to the point where I see even the salad dressings here. Has anyone ever eaten mono for a little while? Yeah? Everyone raise your hand if you've done like a mono thing for 3 days or something. Watermelon or juice, or you get pretty clear, right? Did you get clear when you did that? Yeah, and you saw, wow. And then you went back to your mixtures and you saw what that did. Yeah, how it affects the blood like that. So there is a whole nother level beyond what we're teaching right now, beyond what we're thinking and what we're teaching. And I think that the intensity that I have to get to the core of the truth, and I've held back, you know, because I have my kids, my career. And so I'm trying to muster up the courage to just come forth and say what I really believe. Right now I've kept it at the basic stuff because of my kids, because of my responsibilities, you know. This dude's out there, you know what I'm saying? Breathing. Breath is more important than food. What? This is bull crap.
You're more like a breatharian?
No. See, I have to say no to that question. But every one of us is a breatharian. Anyone want to debate? Okay. I'll stop eating, you stop breathing. We'll see who lives longer. Oh, I just won the debate. We are breatharians. Just because the oxygen is terrible and we've been programmed.
But even if you're not eating, your body's still eating fat, I guess, in your stores.
Theoretically. But I think there might be another level even beyond that. This is the stuff that I think about and keep to myself. Should I go there?
Yes.
Go for it.
Cells replicate themselves on their own. Cells don't eat. Food is to keep the fluids around the cells flushed. See?
I would go even further and say we're not breatharian. We are the breath. And the body mutates and operates on its own once you're clean enough.
I will safely say that the cleaner that you are, the less you need to eat. Has anyone noticed that as time has gone on in your progression? That being said, we could go all the way to the top and say, you are God. Lord have mercy, this man is a sinner. Blasphemy, right? It's highly unlikely that this video will make it to YouTube because I have kids and responsibilities. You see what I mean? But I think about this stuff all day, every day. I think it keeps me from connecting with people. I've been thinking about that a lot. Like I look at my daughter and she's just connecting with all these people, and here's DTM hiding out in the room, doing my best to listen, to be there, but not really sure, just kind of obsessed with this thing because of the pain. Because of the pain, I'll admit, that I've experienced in this life. Am I crazy to think that I could potentially stop this pain? I don't know.
But just think about breathing. I think it's this is trauma that you breathe in when you are retired. The one that you can see there. Because you can see trauma in the air.
I can.
Not the air itself. It's not like the energy that you breathe.
That's it. And my favorite word for that is cosmic radiation. It goes beyond the linear mind. It goes into the realm of the knowing. Yourself. You can't explain it. They don't have words for it. There's just a line there that you transcend, You go from the linear, scientific, mental domain of plausibility, cause and effect, into the realm of experiential knowingness, And for the vast majority of society, they are definitely a mental society, intellectual society. That it's like the greatest example of that is, prove it, right? And you say, okay, they wanted me to prove this thing, and I say, okay, you love your mom? And they're like, yes, I love my mother. And I'm saying, well, prove it. Only you know you love your mom, but when you try to prove to me scientifically that you love your mother, you'll never find a way to do that. It's not possible. You see what I mean? That's the greatest argument for that whole thing. You just know that you love your mom. You just know it. Duh. Just like a spiritual master knows that he knows his experiences, and here's what they are. You are infinite being, capable of any possibility. And that's the underlying core of the message that I'm sharing now. It's not just about the diet. Because for me, it affects all areas of my life. There's no area in this life that I know that I can't improve in. Relationships, finances, diet, spirituality. And I'm working on all those at the same time, all the time. And the way that I work on those is to stay present and be honest. Stay awake and be honest. The whole thing about connecting with people, here's the honest to God's truth. I just shut my heart off when I was 3 years old. I was like, no one's ever going to do that to me again. You know what I mean? And opening my heart back up has been the hardest thing I've ever done. To peel away the rocks, the darkness that I covered it, and I'm never going to feel this way again. And slowly but surely I've been trying to just scrub that dirt off of there and be okay and open up and, share. And most importantly, let people in, to the vulnerability of being able to be hurt again, by losing them or whatever, like my mommy. Yes, sir.
I heard someone say that a lot of the lung cancer is a result of breath not going all the way deep into the lungs, so the bottom part of our lungs isn't getting enough air. So I guess that's what they're finding in research, that because we're not breathing fully, that we're not getting air to that part of our body, and that's why we're getting sick.
Yeah, the acids accumulate. As a breathing machine, you're breathing in the fresh, you're breathing in the prana, and you're exhaling the acids. Well, guess what? Now we're driving in traffic, we're living in New York City, we're breathing in the acids and we're breathing out the acids. Our lungs can get black as soot, So the breathing exercises are helpful. No matter where I'm at, I'm looking for the freshest air. When I lived in New York City, I would go right into Prospect Park, right into the middle, and I would just breathe the leaves off the trees. One time I jumped in the fake little river there, And the dude was like, you can't do that. And I was like, I just did. I mean, I'm just like, it was probably tap water coming out of this thing, but I didn't care, you know. That was my thing. But wherever I'm at, I always go as far away from the cars as I can. I see the people exercising all the time. That's the worst. Breathing that in, you're driving right there next to traffic. I mean, if I have to, like when I'm on the bike ride across the country, that's one thing. But if I had a daily choice, I wouldn't go running near the traffic. That truck is blowing it right on you. The lungs are the key. We're respiration machines, you know, which is it's the purifier of the blood. And the blood is the river of life. And the food that we eat goes in, and the more mixtures there are, the more stuff your body has to work through to purify the blood. That's why fasting is so awesome. Because when you fast on just water or even juices or mono fruit, whatever, but water fasting is the best. Because you just stop, you go somewhere where the air is as fresh as you can get it, and you just breathe and relax, and then that blood, that river of life becomes a solvent. And then it can finally start digging deep into all the debris that's accumulated in your life, which is keeping you from being the person that you want to be, because these tissues get calcified. You know, there is indurated, hardened tissues, which keeps you from being flexible. There's pharmaceutical drugs, recreational drugs, the acids from meat, the acids from grains, and these acids accumulate. And that is what we call decrepitude and old age. The cells in your body are not looking at the iPhone going, it's 7:30. Your cells don't know the date. And your cells don't know your birthday either. But the accumulation of the acids is what makes you age. And when we have these environments like moderate eating, they say there's this whole thing about the Okinawans eat white rice. We should all be eating white rice. No thanks. And I say if the Okinawans ate like I did, they'd live twice as long. Why? First of all, the Okinawans don't carb up. They just eat a little bit. Systematic undereating. You want to know the truth to health? This is the greatest thing you'll ever learn here. The truth to staying healthy all the time is to always be a little bit hungry. Just a little. Not starving yourself, but when you overpack yourself, so much work has to go into it. And then you wake up the next day and do it again because there's so much fruit. I did that the last 3 years. I'm not doing that this year. I love all the fruit, but I'm not going to mix it up because this health thing is so important. That's the thing about me, is that I just never stop. Here, there, wherever I go. And it's not like it's not like a conscious choice. It's just, life is now. Do not wait to start living tomorrow. Do not wait to start mastering yourself till the conditions are right. Today is the day, and now is the time to stay awake and to excavate your most brightest, beautiful self by canceling out all the programming that is the antithesis of that. The antithesis of the light, you know, that we are. That allows us to tap into that and keep the heart on. That sounded funny. Keep the heart on. And when the heart is on, then the energy is there. The life is there. And when the fear is allowed to take over, and then the heart goes off, that's when the energy stops flowing through the acupuncture meridian points. That's when the digestion goes down. Stress and fear destroys the electrical flow. And so love keeps the electrical flow flowing through the meridians so that all the organs and glands function in harmony. Here's the mantra for the DTM: harmony, love, and peace. I don't know how the hell I'm going to explain any of that stuff. I'd like to get better at this job that I do, but I'm always so busy working on myself that I don't have time to look on YouTube and all this crap about how to be a better internet marketer, or how to manipulate people, or how to get more views on my videos. I'm too busy focusing on I don't know if that's, but I do that in the course of service. The videos are service, the service of serving everyone that I come across, and always being the intention to be love, to uplift, to always give a compliment, to make people feel better when they go away from me than they did when I ran into them. It doesn't matter what it is, but it always has to be authentic. It can't be fake, Hey, you did a really good job at bagging my groceries. I appreciate the way you really took care of my tomatoes. Some people would be like, tomatoes. You can't say you did a good job bagging my groceries because you just smashed up my tomatoes, which I hand selected and took 20 minutes to get the best heirlooms. You know what I'm saying? And then you just slapped them. So you can't say that to that one, but you look for something else. That's a really nice set of earrings. You know she's dangling. She loves it. And it's all you got to say. And you're just being a positive vibration in the world, Question?
I just wanted to comment on the under eating versus overeating. Like that even more important is intention and mentality. Like if someone's intention is to deprive themselves, they become anorexic.
Right.
And because of their toxicity and their low vibration, then they'll wither. But someone who's under eating with consciousness and love and has the intention to connect with something positive, then they'll thrive and they'll connect with a power that's nourishing them subtly even stronger and that's why they can do it, and that's why they will live longer and they will be happier.
And so let's change under eating, which kind of has a bad connotation, to moderation.
Yeah.
Moderation. We sound like a bunch of Buddhas. Middle way, right? You don't want to starve yourself to death. I'm not good enough. Which is out there, but it's really the matter of, come on, you know what it is. Because when you have the cooked food, that's when you learn it. You're like, whoa, I just ate 15 pancakes and I'm still hungry? Hungry for what? That's the question. What are we really hungry for?
Nutrition.
Love.
Stimulation.
Maria, good answer. When the stomach is so full that it puts a little pressure on the heart, you can feel your heart. When food is love, when the stomach is so full that, oh, I do have a heart in there. Because you forgot to love yourself. And that's the biggest key, is loving ourselves. All the aspects of ourselves. And that's easy to say, isn't it? It can be very difficult. We know ourselves better than anybody else, So I'm definitely ready for some Q&A, which is always my favorite part. That was my little talk on being your best. Yes?
Are you saying you have a need for God, or you're saying you are God?
Well, there we go. I just want someone to tell me where I end and God begins. See what I mean? How could we not be God, since that is all that is? I can't figure out how we are not God yet.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
If you're God, then you would be able to understand what creation is.
Can you speak up? Can you speak up so I can...
Sure. If you're God, if I created this camera, I would be able to know exactly what goes into it. God is something that creates. God is something I can't understand because I'm the creation.
But you're also the creator. So you're experiencing yourself. And once you have that realization that you are the creator, that's when you understand you're a God.
But you're not.
Uh-oh. We just opened up a can, didn't we?
Hold on, we're going on.
It depends on your definition of God.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where the problem comes in. The unexplainable. The source. Which is it's just my desire to swim in that and be as close to that as possible. You know? To feel the presence of life. More life. That's what I call God. You know? To feel more alive, to feel more clear, to feel more whole, to feel less polarity within myself. You know? The wholeness and the completeness. This isn't really my area of expertise. I'm not really a preacher. And it's a real personal thing because you can't explain it. And I have zero interest in convincing anyone of anything ever. Only by my life will you know me. Only by the fruits will you know me. And only by my fruits do I know myself. People say, Dan, I watch your videos and now I'm cancer-free. Okay. Cool. I'm not sure how that happened. But, or I watched your videos and I didn't kill myself. Yeah, I get that one a lot.
Well, I watched your video and now I'm on the juicer.
I watch your videos now on a juicer. Now I've lost 40 pounds.
I watched your video and forgave past abusers.
Word.
Big time. Thank you.
So these words are nothing. This video it's nothing. I am definitely not coming across the way I'd like to today, at all. Not one single word have I spoken. Has it felt? It can never describe what's real to me. I was over there on the orange juice, sitting back there by myself, and it was just all an illusion. And I can't explain that either. And then it makes me want to play, but you know how you see that, and you're like, oh, well, let's just play then. Let's make $1 million, whatever, do whatever. But then you fall back into those old patterns, you know? And it feels so heavy, you know? So, you know, sometimes on the YouTube, one of the things I like is the food, because I can keep coming back to that as a concrete thing. To spread love, but there's no amount of words that can do that. It's an energy field, you know? It's an energy field that comes through the videos. And each person, it comes through in a sense of whatever's needed that day. I feel like it just comes through me for whatever's needed out there for the people that the universe knows or God is going to watch that video. And it's not very personal at all. My thing is definitely raw foods. I just don't even want to eat anything else. And I like the mono meals, and I like the simple, basic foods, and I like juicing the best. That's the science for my own thinking, okay? That's the liquids that I exchange to keep those acids out of there so they don't accumulate, so that I don't get into decrepitude, and so that the acids don't accumulate and my joints don't get stiff. I mean, when I was a bodybuilder, I'm still healing. That's what I'm telling you. To this day, 14 years later, raw vegan, several medium water fasts, still healing. And so I know that this is a process that isn't just a 3-week smoothie cleanse. This is a lot deeper than that. And so I'm just living on the surface, doing my little thing up here for my career, talking about the juicing and stuff. But I haven't really talked about how deeply the rabbit hole goes when it comes to truly healing and regenerating yourself. Because I was born, and many of us were born into not being as fully expressed as we could have been. And now we're just trying to activate dormant capabilities. So that's eating for enlightenment. Fasting, juicing, breathing, activating dormant potential. Finally, I get around to what I came here to talk about. See what I mean? Activating dormant potential. Does anyone here believe that that is possible? Through chromosomes, DNA, dormant glands, Oh, what's this for? We'll just cut it out. We don't know. That's what they do. Appendix and things like that. Just cut it out. Tonsils, we don't need it. Whoa. Leave my glands alone, sucker. Because I'm going to activate those and I'm going to need them. I have all of them. Does anyone have all their glands? We're very fortunate. So now we'll activate those glands through fasting, raw foods, breathing, and environments. Trying to find those environments that heal. Like if you go to a tropical island, there's a whole nother level of vibration, healing energy for us there. Is there anyone who's here is healing themselves of anything? You know, just not anything in particular, but in general, like you kind of know that there's more there. Maybe there's more energy, more mental clarity, stiffness in the joints, tiredness. Does anyone get like mentally fatigued ever? Does anyone ever get mentally fatigued? Yeah. So that's really the direction I'm going, you know, is sharing my experiences as I go down this path with people. And doing my best to share what I feel is going on with, you know, being able to break through these occlusions, energetic, psychological obstructions. In other words, can versus can't. There's some languages where there's no such word as the word can't, you know. Will and will not, you know. And so I'm just more of a believer in that we can, if we choose. I got an email this morning from a lady who was it was all victim. You can't do that. You'll never succeed if you play the victim and you blame everything. You must be the one to create the conditions that allow you to thrive. And you have to love yourself enough to be able to do that. Right? Any more questions about the expansion of potential? Yeah.
What do you feel about caffeine? Green tea, white tea?
Well, my nervous system doesn't like it at all, nor do my adrenals. But I think it's a great stimulant for people that eat too much fat and too much meat, because the blood gets so thick that you've got to kick back some caffeine so that it thins out the blood, shoots epinephrine from the adrenals and kickstarts you so you can start breathing. If you can start breathing without the caffeine, you're going to be way better off.
Yeah, I noticed that once I quit caffeine, I have more energy. I have more loving energy. I'm not as clammy and sweaty anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get tired around 2 or 3 o'clock p.m. I was just curious because I meet a lot of raw vegans who drink a lot of caffeine.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm just like, whoa.
Is that like the ones that smoke weed?
Well, yeah, I also live in Seattle, Portland area right now.
Caffeine, beer, weed,
All of it.
raw vegan.
Yeah.
Those are the ethical vegans. I'm a health vegan. You know what I mean? So I avoid all that stuff.
We were talking the other day after your walk and talk about what your opinion would be on mushrooms, for like magic mushrooms for enlightenment.
Yeah, I've never heard you talk about psychedelics at all.
Yeah, I've avoided it.
Do you feel comfortable talking about it, or is it kind of more of a personal thing?
I mean, you know.
'Cause that seems like a shortcut to some sort of spiritual enlightenment.
If you could smoke, drink, or drug your way to enlightenment, I'd be sitting here cross-legged with a turban on my head. Okay? So now I just try to go and do it for the real. Really be there. No props, no crutches. Just me and my loneliness, or my ecstasy, or my sadness. Or it's not even mine, it's just the. It's just the. It's going into, finally we get somewhere that matters. It's going into and diving into everything. Like remember when you used to feel pain? You'd roll up a fatty, or go out and get some drinks, or call up a friend and go see a movie. You would do anything to avoid that feeling in your heart, that sadness that's coming up out of You're thinking of your ex-girlfriend, or you're thinking of that time in your childhood, and it just, this really sucks, and it gets heavy, and you just find anything to escape. Well, I found the joy in not escaping. I found the bliss in diving deep into the pain and making it a game. How deep does this go? How much pain is in there? How long is this going to last if I don't eat it away, smoke it away, hump it away, entertain it away? You see? That's what is worth coming to this talk for, is that. That is what has saved my life and got me to here right now, where I'm in a much better place. Anyone who watches the videos knows that. Still working, still excavating. The tip of the iceberg is above the water. That's what you see. That's what you understand. It's the unconscious below, when you saw your parents do this over and over and over again and you don't even remember, and it totally runs you. And now you need to find out what that is, so you can stop being run by those programs, so you can get free. Because freedom is what your spirit wants. You don't want to be a prisoner, and you don't want to be imprisoned in a prettier prison. Oh, this prison has a big screen TV, the last one had a black and white, but you're still imprisoned. A more comfortable prison is not freedom. Freedom is freedom. And I can't tell you how to get there, but I can tell you that I am committed to it. And until my last breath, I don't think this thing is going to stop. It's overtaken me. I don't know when it happened, but I read the Gospel of Peace 14 years ago. Fast and pray until the Lord of the house returns. Until the Lord of the house returns. That woke me up. That stuck out. I was some crazy kid who had nothing but religion crammed down my throat. But no one ever turned my relationship from God and Jesus. No matter how much they crammed their crap down my throat, I had a private, personal relationship with Jesus and God. And all their weird crap, like, whoa, dude, it's like dead men on a dead stage talking to me. There's no life there. I'm not listening to this guy. I'm going outside to play to find God and Jesus, you know? But I had a point to all that. Fast and pray until the Lord of the house returns. I got it. An uneducated, non-spiritual dude, really. Religious, but not spiritual. And then when I heard that, I got it. And I've done nothing but tirelessly work every single second since then to do everything I can with diet, fasting, meditation, honesty, realness, prayer, because I know that there is a light that is everything. But mostly, and I like the saying, the kingdom of heaven is within you. There's a million different ways to say it. But the treasure you seek, let's say that in case we don't like the whole religious thing. The treasure you seek is already inside you. You are what you're looking for. A deeper, more intimate connection with yourself with the capital S. The Lord of the house. And how is the Lord of the house going to return? Are you going to sweep it under the carpet, the dust? No. You have to clean the house and prepare it. And that's why we fast. And that's why we pray. And that's why we meditate. And that's why we eat the clean, living food, so that this temple is worthy of a place of yourself that is so great that no crazy skinny guy on YouTube could ever convince you of it, no matter how hard he would want to try. You got to find it yourself. And it's there. And it's the answer. And it is the process of diving deep. And it is the process of honesty that is going to make it impossible to want to get up some days. But whether it lasts a minute, or 2 days, or 3 days, I've had dark pain for months at a time. Not before, but when I woke up knowing that I had to, because I can't keep this going on anymore. I can't keep running. My exit strategies, they're not working. The food, I have to be raw because that was my thing, but you can still use raw food and tear it up and pile all this shit on top of each other, make this big mishmash, and then temporarily your problems are assuaged for a little while because now all that energy in your brain is down in your stomach, you're fat and happy, the DVD's playing. But as you become more aware, just through the process of awareness, it's not even you. You can say yes to awareness or you can say no to awareness. I always keep saying yes to it so it keeps expanding, so the exit strategies stop working. So now I'm like full and fat and feel gross, and my problem is still there. Obviously I'm not going to smoke it away anymore like I used to, drink it away. Porn was always fun, right? Or all the other things. There's so many other things. Even religion, donuts. God, who knows? It's social life. Can't wait till the party this weekend. That party keeps you going all week long and avoiding your problems. What am I going to wear? What am I going to do? Your mind is everywhere except here, now. In the world of duality. Oh, this is pleasant, this is unpleasant. Stay awake in the pleasant, stay awake in the unpleasant, dive deep, get to the core. That's enlightenment. Getting to the core. Getting to the core of the truth. I wish I could explain this stuff. I can't. All I can say on YouTube videos or in these classes is that whatever it is, I'm committed to it. And I'm not going to stop until I'm satisfied and full and filled and the Lord of the house has returned. So I will be the fanatical, crazy, skinny, orthorexic dude because the world won't understand. But 50 or 100 years from now, they'll say that dude was ahead of his time because he had a big set and he kept busting through and I keep holding back. I got to stop holding back, and so do all the rest of us. We can't wait till Grandma agrees with us. Eat your meat, honey. How do you get your protein? Sorry, Grams, I got to move on. You can't wait until the world agrees with you to do what you know is right. This is a highly illuminated group of people. If you sat through all this BS, and I'm just, there you go. I don't even think of carbs, man. I think of minerals. I'm an electrical being. I am light. And I like to sit there and lay there and feel that and breathe. And I just love to take the time to come into conscious contact with that as much as possible. Like creating a conscious connection with the infinite divine light that is the source and the animating principle of all that is. And that's what this is about. That's what this talk is about. Diving deep, living truthfully, and being authentic, even when you know what it's going to cost you. But that's just the surface. That's not your eternal destiny and your eternal soul. And I don't mean to be fire and brimstone. I don't do that crap. I'm just talking about karma, equal opposite reaction, the laws of nature. Those you can see. You can see the laws of nature. But that other more subtle law of that which you put out is that which you will get back. One more minute. Thank you. I hope you are full and you are filled with the last 10 minutes of this talk. Before that I wasn't awake. I wasn't tapping in. It takes me a while to warm up. I overate the last couple days. It profoundly affects us. If we want to stay awake, alive, sharp, and on point, we'll find the simplest, most moderate foods that are the cleanest and the most highly vibrational, and we will keep our blood clean, and we will keep our glands clear, and we will keep that electricity flowing through us, and we will stay awake, and we will keep on coming back to the affirmative, to the now, to the present. Can I get an amen? Amen. Thank you all very much for coming today. We'll have to step outside for Q&A. So Don, we're going to help Don get this thing set back up properly for his talk, if anyone wants to help with that. And then I'll be outside in like a couple minutes and we can talk a little bit more if you want.
That was awesome.
Dan, you started off with the prayer. I wanted you to end with the prayer.
Thank you, man. Thank you for just allowing us to know that, like.
I wish I could have. Let's go outside and pray.